on Open Throttle 360. We head to Pittsburgh Raceway Park for one of the fastest and loudest events of the year, a visit with Gearhead girl Lisa Norman. We get nostalgic at Lernerville Speedway. We head to Bedford County with Michael Whittick for a little Demolition Derby action. And as always, we go pro. That's coming up on Open Throttle 360.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Say maybe, you say I can't, I'll show you that I can. When they try to corral me, well that's when I get rowdy. Just get on board, strap in, you'll understand that I'm wild, wild and crazy.
Welcome to Open Throttle 360. I'm Tom Lang.
And I'm Trip Clark. And Tom, as you well know, one of the biggest nights of drag racing all year long is none other than the IHRA Nitro Jam out of Pittsburgh Raceway Park.
What day was that?
Saturday!
What day?
Saturday!
While Trip recovers, the OT360 crew got a chance to head out to PRP for a little IHRA Nitro Jam action. The engines are loud, the cars are crazy fast, and the sweet smell of nitro in the air will sure enough get you doing the huckly buck. And if it don't, well then, you just don't dance. The technical issue they were having here is the fuel injection is not going to wide open throttle, and open throttle is critical in a race car. Back in the alcohol dragster days, everybody wanted to drive a blown fuel car, and you were able to make that happen.
Yeah, it was kind of fortunate that I got the opportunity to do this, and I've loved it. I mean, it is the ultimate. When you reach over and pull that fuel lever over, it makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck. It's like I tell people, I feel like I'm 20 years old all over again. And I said, I've been very fortunate, all the knowledge I've gained all over the years, to be able to go back and apply that. And to me, that's what it's all about.
I currently go to Embry-Riddle. I'm majoring in aviation maintenance science. By the end of it, I'll be a fully certified aircraft mechanic.
I am a double alumni of the university with my bachelor's degree in aeronautical science, a master's in business, and I'm a current flight instructor there with my air transport pilot rating. Driving a jet dragster and flying has a lot of similarities, mainly because the engine still feels the same as a normal turbine engine. You still get compressor stalls and stuff like that.
I think it definitely attracts some attention from young guys. I don't know. They kind of just flock to us every now and then.
I can hold my own against the boys, so just say that.
I met you a few years ago when you still had a top sportsman car. I've seen this thing grow in leaps and bounds, and it's a top flight professional operation.
Well, I appreciate that, but a lot of that came through a lot of hard work and a very understanding wife. So.
Well, how are you doing as far as results? You competitive with this car?
We actually won Braden's in Florida, which was the third race of the year, and we're sitting third in points right now. We're kind of in a shootout with Mr. Sanders next door, and if we go some rounds today, we'll move up into second.
And how many races left to decide this championship?
We have this race and one other, and that's it.
Oh, so it's fish or cut bait, huh?
You got it, man.
I started driving jet cars kind of like on a dare from the husband. He's a pilot and he's a mechanic, and he's like, baby, I can make you go faster, but I gotta put a jet on it, and there we went.
I grew up at the racetrack and I saw a lane race when I was younger, so it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I just got the right timing and opportunity to be able to race against it now.
We run a General Electric J85 jet engine in it, and that's like out of a T38, a little fighter trainer. These take a little bit to get going, but once they hit their power and we hit that afterburner, it's hard to beat us.
A major component of this show were nitro-powered cars. I know the fans love the nitro.
We know that we've got to continue to be entertaining. People want it, but it's got to be at an affordable price that people can afford to come out. Competition's important, makes everybody run better, makes the performances better. You put it all together and you got a great package.
my name is Lisa Norman. I am a member of the Gearhead Girls. I've been racing for 5 years up at Pittsburgh Raceway Park in New Alexandria. I have a very touching story of how I got started drag racing. 5 years ago, my husband lost his identical twin brother to post-traumatic stress syndrome. And he was in a very deep depression. He didn't want to eat, he didn't want to shower, he didn't want to do anything. There was no life in him whatsoever. His brother had loaned him a 1972 Vega, and it was very heart-wrenching for him to work on this Vega. We had a buddy named Brian who wanted to get back into drag racing. I didn't know a thing about drag racing. I've never been to a drag strip, never watched drag racing, never been behind the wheel, didn't even see a drag car other than the Vega that came to our house after he passed away. Brian and Lee were in the garage with Matt, and of course I'm a girl and I'm not allowed in the garage, and I was just kind of an outcast off to the side, just wrenching away on my own. They were putting a new fuel line in Brian's Monte Carlo, and they were talking about how they used to drag race when they were younger and how they used to change their tires along Route 22 to get into the drag park. And I finally saw the light go on in Lee's eyes. I finally saw that he was passionate about something, and I knew right then and there that that was the ticket. That's how I was going to bring him back. That's how I was going to get him passionate about life again. Later that evening, we were sitting around and we were talking about drag racing, which again, I knew nothing about. And they thought, wouldn't it be funny to get you to start drag racing against Brian to get Lee out of his depression? We didn't think Lee was going to go for it. We ended up getting on Craigslist and finding a 1985 Pontiac Grand Prix, and in doing so, got Lee out of the depression. When I got in it, I was nervous. I didn't know anything about drag racing. I didn't know anything about the car, but I knew one thing. Lee was out of the house, and Lee was excited. And Lee was excited that we were back at the drag strip. Lee was excited that we were drag racing. Was I scared? Absolutely. But I've been drag racing for 5 years now. I love every minute of it, how fast I go. I love the car. And now our whole entire family does it. Now Lee has a 1985 S10 with a 598 in it, and now he's drag racing. And there's not a weekend that goes by that we're not up there during the season drag racing. And that light is finally back in his eyes.
Being a drag race guy my whole life, and I've been doing media since '89, that's one of the best stories about racing I have ever heard. That, you know, racing basically saved your husband's life.
Coming up on OT360, Tom Lang talks with local legendary race car driver Blackie Watt and others at Nostalgia Night. And we follow the escapades of Michael Wittick and his Demolition Derby team. That's next on Open Throttle 360.
With more than 3 decades of experience and 130 suppliers under one roof, Ludy's Chevy Warehouse is your one-stop restoration shop for sheet metal, brakes, emblems, chrome, and more. Need restoration parts for Chevy Impala, Bel Air, or Biscayne? We've got a catalog for that. We've got parts for Tri-5 and Chevy trucks, Chevelle, Monte Carlo, and El Camino, Chevy Nova, and Camaro. It's all at Ludy's Chevy Warehouse. Call today for a free catalog or visit us at a swap meet near you.
Country music fans, Chris Higby's new CD depends on you. Be part of the Kickstarter campaign to help Chris record a new CD. Go to chrishigby.com to see how you can be a part of making music history.
It's the Delaney Honda Summer Clearance Event now through September 2nd at Delaney Honda. Hurry in to lease a 2014 Honda Civic Sedan CVT-LX for $147 a month, or lease a 2014 Honda Accord Sedan CVT-LX for $188 a month, or rates as low as 0.9% on select vehicles. Delaney Honda is the area's best location for certified pre-owned Hondas. Visit online at DelaneyHonda.com for other great offers. Hurry, the Delaney Honda Summer Clearance Event ends September 2nd. Delaney, it's all right here.
Heads Up Racing. Run what you brung. Street racing without the jail time. FlashlightDrags.com.
A family-owned and operated racing enterprise specializing in restoration work, chassis setup, transmission work, hard-to-find parts, and vintage car sales. Zappa Racing is the place to go for your road racing needs. Visit ZappaRacing.com and find out what the Fighting Bee is all about. Zappa Racing.
Sometimes we're moving at such breakneck speed, looking to see what's coming up next, that we forget to take time to acknowledge the past. And the past is what got us to today. Every year, local racers and general auto enthusiasts head to Lernerville Speedway for the annual Nostalgia Night, hosted by none other than Don Gamble. There you get a chance to see some of the pioneers of the sport and take a walk back in time to see how they made it great. People always are looking back at the good old days of racing.
And racing was a lot more fun back then, years ago.
Because the sport has changed quite a bit over the years.
It has. We used to build our own cars, build our own motors, we did everything. Nobody does that anymore.
We're at Lernerville Speedway for Nostalgia Night, and this guy standing next to me, very nostalgic person, Don Gamble. Nice event you put together here.
It's really great. It gives these people an opportunity to get a little recognition. I mean, we have one driver here that's 90, and some of the best drivers in the country raced in Western Pennsylvania, and a lot of them are here tonight, and we're just as pleased as could be. Tom, I noticed Blackie Watt just came in, and when we talk about stories, the man won over 600 features in the late models and modifieds, ran NASCAR, actually beat Richard Petty in one of the races.
I'm Blackie Watt. I've raced cars for about 43 years.
My name is Jim Pitcavish. My father and I built and maintained race cars for Blackie.
I run modified, late model, and Grand National, which is Winston Cup type cars now. Ran against Richard Petty and Cale Yarborough and Dave Pearson down Daytona, Darlington, places like that.
And he's sharing a big piece of history. We went up to get a couple trophies for the History Center, and I figured we get a half a dozen trophies, and I said, does it matter which ones? He said, take them all. I can't imagine giving away all your awards.
The spirit of racers that they want to share. They don't want to keep it to themselves. They want everybody to enjoy it and have a piece of what they've been involved in.
I got to tell you a little story. I'm colorblind, okay? And they said, how in the world do you drive a race car when you're colorblind? I said, it's pretty simple. When somebody gets upside down, the red flag comes out.
My theory was I didn't come second. I always came to win.
I lost the race over that one night. I swore I took the checkered flag and it was the white flag and I pulled in.
The one race I remember was the Australian Pursuit where you got passed, you was eliminated from the race. Started last and I think it was 10 or 12 cars started the race. And when I come across the flagman, I was front. I passed everybody. Then Joe Pikavich, of course, he was always a pretty straight-faced guy and so forth. I drove in the pits and I looked up at him and I said, all right. He looked down with a straight face and said, that way to go, Blackie, don't wear the equipment out. He turned around and walked away.
Is anybody telling the truth here, or are they all just stories?
Well, no, they're pretty much telling the truth, yeah. But there's some stories too.
What's the biggest change you've seen in the sport in your years of involvement?
Money. Money, money, money.
You want to go fast, they ask you how fast you want to go. No, how much money you want to spend.
If you don't have a $40,000 or $60,000 engine, you really aren't that competitive.
Back in the 50s when you first started racing, if you had $300 in a car, you had a top car.
A car like this in its heyday, you could build it for like $500.
Right.
And it paid $500 to win. You win one race and your car's paid for. Tonight it cost $500 to get through the gate.
Yeah.
With
to get the fuel.
With your car with the $40,000 motor.
Yeah. Well, we have no one to blame but ourselves for that.
Racers are their own worst enemy.
Yeah, they don't need to have a $250,000 motorhome to travel 45 minutes.
And have you ever seen a toter home in Victory Lane?
Would you enjoy this kind of racing?
No, I wouldn't. No, it's just not fun anymore. You have to have so much money invested in what you have out there, and to race for so little, It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why they're still doing it.
Well, if you hadn't been racing, what would you have spent your time doing over the years?
I don't really know.
What else would you do? Enjoyed it, made some dollars doing it. So what more fun could you have?
I like to gamble.
Wasn't racing like a gamble?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Can't imagine doing anything else.
The cars that we're looking at now versus the cars that are going to be on the track tonight, how long is it going to be before those cars are nostalgic?
That's a good question, but hopefully I'm still around to do this. You know, I'm going to keep doing this till the groundhog is my mailman, because I love it. I love the people, the stories, the history. I mean, it's just wonderful.
Still to come, we see how the OT360 car does at the Bedford County Fair Demolition Derby. Don't go far, OT360 will be right back.
Looking for a one-stop shop for all of your dirt, drag, and street machine needs? Look no further than Hoosier Tire Mid-Atlantic and Precise Racing Products. Precise is the leading distributor for Hoosier Racing tires and VP Racing fuel for Pennsylvania and Maryland. We also have a wide range of parts and accessories for circle track, drag racing, and street performance. Visit PreciseRacing.com and enter coupon code OT360 to receive a free hat on your next purchase. Precise Racing Products. We sell speed.
24/7, get the gear at PennStateClothes.com. Shirts, hoodies, gifts, jerseys, and sweats. PennStateClothes.com. You bet. The family clothesline with more in store. At Penn State Clothes, you get more. 24/7, get the gear at PennStateClothes.com. The family clothesline.
The Hope Learning Center has changed my family's life and my life.
One of the big surprises of Savannah being here at Hope is one of making friends. Just getting along with other children, to be able to sit through an entire 8-hour day versus struggling through to get it through a 3-hour day of school. She's comfortable, she's happy. She's happy, I'm happy.
The Hope Learning Center. Learn today, hope for tomorrow.
It's Delaney Chevrolet's last month of summer sales event going on now through September 2nd. Lease a 2014 Chevy Equinox for $223 a month or buy it now for $22,050. Or lease a 2014 Chevy Silverado for $369 a month or buy it now for $32,047. Visit online at DelaneyChevrolet.com to view our 2014 model year and specials on remaining in-stock 2014s. Hurry, the Delaney Chevrolet last month of summer sales event and September 2nd. Chevrolet, find new roads. Delaney, it's all right here.
One of the most enjoyable shoots that the OT360 crew's been on this year was our trip to the Bedford County Fair. It was a great day of funnel cakes, fair food, Bedford County hospitality, and a little demolition derby. One of the true staples of summer in rural America is the time-tested tradition of the county fair. What began primarily as an agricultural show has evolved into a cornucopia of funnel cakes, screaming kids, Ferris wheels, and demolition derbies. Like life itself, the goal here is to come out alive. Nothing complicated about this, just survival of the fittest.
I have 2 race cars, 2 cats, no money, a bad liver. I wonder why I can't get a girl.
My name's Michael Jack Whittick, and I'm here along with my friends to run the Demolition Derby. Hey, I grew up as an Evel Knievel kid, and I was popping wheelies on anything that we could. So as I got older, my buddies got together and just got into the racing world. Win, lose, or draw, at the end of it, it's all about the hot girls and the cold beer anyway, so, you know, whatever.
So we're going to put these set of front tires on. These tires are what we call double tires. What we do is we take a tire that's 2 sizes smaller than the tire on the outside, stuff it up and put it on the inside. So hopefully it reduces our chances of getting any flat tires and keep us rolling all night long.
We're in heat 1, by the way.
Nothing like getting to it early.
You just got to go with what they're going to get down there and tell you, because there's some genius down there that thinks he's awesome mechanic and whatever. And when you get down there, you're like, yeah, okay, there, genius. This is the safest car we've ever built. So, you know, what's up?
The OT360 car began taking a beating right out of the gate.
Some of these front wheel drives, they get across there going pretty quick. And one time, car got away from me a little bit and I got into a guy's driver's door and felt bad about that. You know, you don't want to hurt anybody.
One shot, another shot, another shot. Several body blows later, lifeless and motionless on the track, it suddenly looked like our 2-hour trip to Bedford County was all in vain.
Of all the things to have happen, we installed a new fuel pump this morning and we hit hard enough where it bent the car up enough where it pulled the wire out. And by the time I figured out why the car wasn't running and fixed the wire, they said, well, you're timed out.
But like a cornerman breathing life into his fighter after a standing 8 count, Michael was going to make it, to the consolation round at least, bruised and battered but making it nonetheless. Round 2 saw more of the same, but harder, crazier, and more dangerous.
That was about the hardest hitting consolation I was ever in. These guys from Bedford, they come to hit.
But like a man possessed, Michael and the OT360 car began to wreak havoc on others and himself.
Hey, these people pay good money to come in here and see a bunch of idiots like me run into each other, so by God, we're gonna do it.
But a few more powerful shots in this tired body had maybe seen enough.
I don't know if I hit the door or a guy come in on me, but took a pretty good shot there. Got a little scrambled up, but we made it.
A hush fell over the crowd as we learned whether the driver and the car would get to their feet one more time. First, we get the nod from Michael. He's gonna make it. But like a rodeo cowboy without a horse, the fight might be over if his car won't giddy up and his battle against the clock runs out. Tune in to the season finale of Open Throttle 360 next week to see if Michael makes it into the feature event in the conclusion of our Demolition Derby extravaganza.
Still to come, drivers and racers from all over the area submitted their GoPro footage. See if yours makes the show.
The best tires, parts, and service. Tire Town.
Heads Up Racing. Run what you brung. Street racing without the jail time. FlashlightDrags.com.
When we first started out, I thought that I was going to be helping someone. That is not how it has turned out. He has helped me and my family see things in a whole different light. He is our family. He's our unblood relative. He's my best friend.
Best friend.
Make a friend, make a family, make a difference.
Country music fans, Chris Higby's new CD depends on you. Be part of the Kickstarter campaign to help Chris record a new CD. Go to chrishigby.com to see how you can be a part of making music history.
It's the Delaney Subaru last month of summer sales event going on now through September 2nd. Stop in for these great deals. Lease a 2015 Subaru Legacy for $229 a month for 36 months. Or lease a 2015 Subaru Outback for $279 a month for 36 months. Visit online at DelaneySubaru.com for other great offers, like 2014 model year-end specials on remaining in-stock 2014s. Hurry, the Delaney Subaru last month of summer sales event ends September 2nd. Delaney, it's all right here. Delaney.
Dude, that Demolition Derby was awesome. I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode.
You were there, weren't you?
Yeah, but I like to see it on TV.
Oh, okay. Make sure you tune in to the next episode of OT360 so you can watch the conclusion of our Demolition extravaganza.
And as always, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and Tom, you know we even give free stuff away on our Facebook page. You ought to check it out.
I do, often.
Good.
In addition to nitromethane being a race fuel, it's also an industrial solvent. In fact, it's one of the world's most powerful solvents. Dissolves pistons, dissolves bank accounts, and sometimes dissolves marriages.
I bet it does that. Special thanks to Dan Fowler at Fast Company for letting us use his awesome facility. And we'll see you next time.
Next week on Open Throttle 360, we'll see part 2 of our Demolition Derby coverage. We profile local educator and race car driver Nick Kachuba. We look back at some of the highlights and lowlights of the past season. Tom and Tripp put a fork in another awesome season of Open Throttle 360. And as always, we go pro. That's all coming up on the next OT 360.